Jose Cruz had him played well and made the moving catch. Foul ball. Strike one. Here's Manhattan and the city surrounding it. Tall spire, of course, the Empire State Building. I remember when that was the tallest building in the city.
Before the World Trade Centers, huh?
Yeah. Not anymore. The strike one pitch to Wilson. Mazzilli at first, Davis holding. And it's up and away. 1-1. Ashby knocks it down. Mazzilli takes off. The throw. He's in there. Ball rolled about 6 feet, 8 feet behind Ashby. Mazzilli, sensing opportunity, took off, and he made it.
Alan Ashby couldn't find this ball. Watch. The little hesitation right there allowed Mazzilli to alertly go to second base. A good base running play by Lee Mazzilli.
Has a chance to deliver Mazzilli from second base with 2 out. That's a pass ball charged to Ashby. Second baseman Doran flags it down. Sounded like Mookie broke his bat and didn't have a whole lot on it. So the side's retired. The Mets are turned away. 4-0 Houston. Back after this word from your local station.
When Spencer sends a greeting,
you better be the good guys.
Everybody gets the message.
You didn't mention nothing about shotgun. Yeah, the road racing part slipped my mind, too.
But no matter what the job,
you've got the best there is on your side.
He'll get it done.
Hold on.
Spencer, following Heart of the City 1 week from tonight.
You know some folks' idea of a sandwich? Slap some meat on some bread, smear on the mayo, bingo, you got a sandwich. Let's get serious. This is the new Hot Club Supreme from Jack in the Box. You've got hot turkey, ham, bacon, cheese on a sesame bun. Bingo.
The new Hot Club Supreme from Jack in the Box restaurants for serious sandwich eaters.
I'm talking serious.
AT&T is in the middle of all the action.
Well, chaps, if we could just find the right American firm to handle things today.
The moon were made of green cheese.
Mr. Heyman from America on 1.
God, talk about perfect timing.
What's going on?
Let me put you on conference.
If you don't make the call, you may never know what you're missing, because nothing puts you in the middle of all the action like AT&T International Long Distance Service.
Work with you again. Sounds great. And I thought I was calling just to say hello.
AT&T, the right choice.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Foley store-wide anniversary sale. Now bigger than ever, with savings like never before. Save 25 to 75% throughout the store. Save on knitwear, activewear, daywear, kidwear, any kind of wear. Well, almost. Save on housewares, silverware, bathware, kitchenware, and soundware. It's all on sale. 25 to 75% off. It's the biggest sale of the year. Where? Foley's, of course.
Texas and Oklahoma, Saturday afternoon at 2 here on 13.
Right-hander Rick Aguilera comes on now in relief of Ron Darling in the top of the 6th inning. You see from this graphic, he was effective after the All-Star break with an ERA, earned run average, let's make it plain English, 2.76, which is pretty strong with an 8-4 record. He became a starter back in July in St. Louis, and he stayed in the rotation for the rest of the year.
He started off very badly this year, as you see Wally Backman and tomorrow evening's pitcher Sid Fernandez in the foreground of your picture. Rick Aguilera 0-3 in his first 3 decisions. Then he was sent to the bullpen for about 8 appearances. And turned out he had the same record that he had last year, 10-7. The home run ball really jumped up and bit him early. Matter of fact, his first 15 2/3 innings this year, he allowed 8 home runs, but only 15 over the next 125 innings.
That's a bunch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Get a crick in your neck watching that minute go out. Jose Cruz comes up to face him. Alan Ashby next, and then Craig Reynolds. He'll be pitching to 3 successive left-handers. 3 in a row. And Cruz takes it low and away. What is the repertoire of Mr. Senor Aguilera?
Fastball, a little tailing fastball, a curveball for his strikeout pitch, and a slider. That's the fastball there that will tail back over the plate on a left-handed hitter.
Jose Cruz, 39 years of age. One of the quality players in Major League Baseball. 3 balls and 1 strike now. So while Ron Darling drives Davy Johnson up the wall, falling behind hitters, lo and behold, here comes Aguilera out of the pen, and he immediately falls behind Jose Cruz. And walked him.
Houston.
CFA college football follows our baseball game. Some scores coming in now. Notre Dame over Pittsburgh 3-0 in the second quarter, and Penn State has come bouncing back now to lead Cincinnati, while Auburn is pounding away on Vanderbilt, and the Tigers are undefeated. And there's a bit of a surprise. North Carolina State had been ranked in the top 20, but Georgia Tech jumped all over them. Ashby fouls it away. Out of play. Coming up next, we'll have Miami at West Virginia, the top-rated Hurricanes, or Oklahoma, Texas, depending on what kind of part of the country you're going to be watching today. Texas-Oklahoma is going to be interesting because there's so many things swirling around that. When the Texans angry that everybody thinks Oklahoma's going to run them out of town. The story about Fred Akers being in trouble with his job. That's a bouncing ball tonight at third. Goes to second. 1 back to first. Double play. Hernandez had the ball in front of him and bouncing about 3 feet from him and handled it as if it had been right on the numbers. So the Mets turned the DP.
The next batter, shortstop Craig Reynolds.
Hernandez at first base with that glove is just about as good as anybody.
Yep. He saved so many errors of the Mets infielders. He just said, just get it over there any way you can, and I'll take care of it. He's very confident as a fielder. Interesting article about Keith in this week's Sports Illustrated, chronicling his life growing up in San Francisco.
Batter is the shortstop, Craig Reynolds, who has walked and scored and struck out swinging.
Not only did Keith's father, John, used to throw to him a lot, have Keith take a lot of batting practice, but he just hit him 1 ground ball after the other.
Two balls and no strikes to Reynolds. And no strikes. Well, the pitcher's best friend, a double play, perhaps has helped Aguilera without keep from digging himself a hole here at the top of the 6th. Inside corner with a slider.
Got a chance to see a pitcher's best friend following a pitcher's arch enemy in 1 inning. The walk, the arch enemy, and the double play, the friend.
sinking liner drops in front of Mookie Wilson. And Reynolds is on with base hit number 7 for Houston.
Now batting, pitcher Bob Knepper.
So with Reynolds on first, here comes Bob Knepper. Perhaps to go back to a point you made earlier, Tim, about Wilson playing deep in center.
Well, on a ball hit that, that has that much hang time, even though the ball was hit fairly well. I guess with 2 out and nobody on, you are inclined to play a little deeper. But I think the general point of the Met outfield playing too deep is certainly taken well. Mookie prefers to come in on everything. Len Dykstra plays very deep in center field. And Kevin Mitchell is inclined to play deep and left.
Knepper hits it high in the air and well, and it's Wilson going back to the track to haul it down. So Bob Knepper, who has a couple of doubles and a triple this season, rode that one well. Hit it about 370-odd feet. Houston now leads it 4-0 in the 6th.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Who has transformed home entertainment, bringing sight and sound together with one remote. Who? RCA, with Digital Command Component Systems. A choice of components operated by one remote that deliver a sight and sound experience you must experience. Digital Command Component Systems. If you settle for less than RCA, that's exactly what you'll get.
Driving on your old antifreeze another year can be risky. Weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while a Prestone radiator looks this good. So don't push your luck, change it once a year with fresh Prestone.
Guess what thousands of doctors are recommending for women who need extra calcium? Tums. Surprised? It's true. Tums isn't just a great antacid, it's also rich in calcium.
Today, the anniversary of that 1969 World Series. The Mets, born in '62, went for the Big Apple in 1969, and it was Casey Stengel who really planted the idea of the amazing Mets.
Amazing! Amazing! It's just amazing.
Gil Hodges, of course, there, as they fill the streets with confetti and saluting one of the great stories in the annals of sport. And they've got the same kind of an idea here in 1986 as the Mets and the Astros are in the National League Championship Series. All even as we play Game 3 at Shea Stadium. The Mets, trailing by a score of 4-0, will come up in the 6th inning with Kevin Mitchell, Keith Hernandez, and Gary Carter. Bob Knepper pitching for Houston, and he gets a strike call on Mitchell. Kevin hitless in 2 trips today. Snaps off inside, ball 1.
I think it's interesting to note that the Houston Astros of '86 are more like the 1969 Mets than the 1986 Mets are like the 1969 Mets. I mean, here's a team that a lot of people picked to finish 5th or 6th, possibly lose 100 games. They're riding the same crest that the Mets road back in 1969. Hal Lanier hopes for the same results.
Two balls and a strike to Mitchell. 3-1. He never cocked his head a little bit. He thought he had a chance of getting that one called as he nibbled at the outside corner. As again, the ball tended to tail away from the right-handed hitter.
He does have two types of fastballs, one that will tail away from the right-hander, and the other that he runs inside to tail back over the inside part of the plate.
High chop. Walling can't get it over his head. And Mitchell takes a big turn at first and then holds on as Cruz hustled the ball back in. And so the Mets now, first time in the ball game, have the leadoff man aboard.
The one thing that stops base runners is an outfielder getting to the ball in a hurry. Watch this high chopper over the head of Walling. And Jose Cruz getting to the ball in a hurry to throw to second to hold Mitchell to a single.
Keith Hernandez with Carter now to the on-deck circle. Well, they've got the number 2 man in the order on the base. That starts the wheel spinning. But Nepper is high and tight to Hernandez for ball 1.
That is also the first time this afternoon that the Mets have had their leadoff runner on. I would think he'll work Hernandez inside. The base hit he got on a curveball away his last time up. And that's how left-handed pitchers try to work Hernandez. Right-handers, too, for that matter.
Charlie Kerfeld up quickly in the Houston bullpen. Al Lanier with that 4-0 lead, quick to respond as Nepper gets in a bit of trouble here early on in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kerfeld is the setup man for Dave Smith, and the pitch is high and tight to Hernandez. And Les Moss, the pitching coach for the Houston Astros, is on his way to the mound. Charlie Kerfeld, a big, bulky right-hander from Carson City, Nevada, can heat up in a hurry, and he's got bulldog in him. So Les Moss, who has had his say now, the former catcher, cuts back to the dugout.
Usually a manager will want his pitching coach to kind of walk out there, then walk back to give the bullpenners a chance to get ready. But Les, he was in a full gait going out there and coming back.
He doesn't know any other. That's high. Ball 3. Three balls and no strikes to Hernandez. Mitchell, the leadoff man aboard, banged a bouncer over the head of Denny Walling at third for a single. There's a strike. Center fielder Hatcher shading toward left center for Hernandez, leaving Keith some room in right center, and he of course gets around on it. He's got a lot of room down the line. Day, pitchers being allowed by the umpires to blow on the hand. 3-1 pitch coming. Looper out into short center field. Hatcher can't get to it. Will drop to a base hit. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. Mitchell at second. Hernandez at first for Carter.
Billy Hatcher broke back on that ball, and that cost Bob Nepper an out. He took that one step back with his left foot, and by the time he recovered, the ball dropped in front of him.
Kerfeld is throwing in the Houston bullpen, and Hal Lanier just turned to Les Moss and said, check and see how hot he is. Got to look out here. There's power at the plate. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch.
of the reasons Knepper is allowed to stay in the game now is because Strawberry's on deck. And Strawberry, not Carter, represents the tying run. I'd much rather have the left-hander face Strawberry than a right-hander.
Carter had 24 home runs on the season. That's low. Statistics amplifying what Tim just said about Strawberry. He's 3 for 22 lifetime against Knepper. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's trying for the double play ball. We said that Knepper, one of the top pitchers in the National League, and throwing the double play ball. Gary Carter does not run well, and he's missed with 2 of 3 sinkers on the outside. He's going back out there. You saw Ashby.
On the corner, Jeff Calhoun now is up in the Houston pen, a left-hander. Joining Kerfield. Carter out shaking his head over the call. It's even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Houston leading 4-0. And the Mets are cooking right now. Mitchell at second, Hernandez at first, back-to-back singles. Bounce it toward the shortstop. Underneath the glove of Reynolds. Mitchell coming around third. He will score. Timid swing by Gary Carter, but the ball, as Reynolds came in, did not come up for him.
Watch the ball stay down. This goes under the glove of Craig Reynolds. Craig really had a lot of time. His play was to first base. Mitchell scores easily after a stumble right there. So the Mets are on the board.
It's an error against Reynolds, and Strawberry is up facing Knepper. It is now a 4-1 ball game. Strawberry hits it high in the air to right, fast to the wall. It's gone. The score is tied. Strawberry, victim more often than not against Knepper in his career. In a high fly ball. Out of here. And that error by Reynolds at shortstop haunts the Astros.
Well, you think about how this inning was set up for Strawberry. A high chopper over third, a blooping single into center, and the error by Craig Reynolds, and a new way to shake hands.
And Ray Knight is at the plate. To Walling. And he throws him out. That's the first out of the inning. 4 runs across for the Mets.
You know, the interesting thing about this whole scenario in this inning, obviously Hal Lanier, by leaving Knepper in, he wanted him to pitch to Carter. He actually gets Carter on the feeble ground ball to short, but Strawberry, the guy left him in for, hits the home run. Unbelievable.
Tupple fouls it away for strike 1. Well, you just never know. I don't care if you've never had a hit. As long as you're up there with a bat in your hand, you're a threat.
Strawberry 3 for 22 before that home run. He did have 1 lifetime homer against Knepper.
1 ball and 1 strike to Tupple. Santana is now on deck. The Mets get 4 to tie in the bottom of the 6th inning. That ball is hit hard to right. Fast going back. Wind turns it. Whoa, he makes a fine catch.
Did Kevin Bass ever make a fine catch? Talk about playing shallow the other way. The outfielders do go back very, very well. Better than they think. Well, that's a fine play by Kevin Bass.
And Santana is at the plate. 2 down now. Roger McDowell is now up in the New York bullpen, and he's throwing with purpose. That ball is hit well to left, but Cruz has an angle on it, and Jose makes the catch for the 3rd out. But it's a big one for the Mets as they come up with 4, and after 6, it is 4-4.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
The 1986 Indianapolis 500 champion, Bobby Rahal, winner of the fastest Indy in history. Continuing the winning tradition of Budweiser racing teams, Bobby took the checkered flag to win the Indianapolis 500. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
Take it from a man who knows his weather. It's going to be a cold, cold winter. But Payne has a great way to warm you up. Buy the Plus 90 gas furnace, and we'll pay you back for 2 months of gas, even the coldest 2. And the Plus 90 is so efficient, it makes gas your most economical way to heat and even better value. So call 800-CASH-OFF for your Payne dealer and get 2 months of free gas.
Gas, America's best energy value.
A 3-run home run from an unlikely source. And bingo, you're even at 4.
Yeah, I guess the source was likely in that it was Strawberry, but the error was the thing that was not likely. Greg Reynolds making the error that really opened up the inning, but the one hit, the high chopper over the glove of Denny Walling, and then the little looper in the center field, and then the big bombers came up. Fastball on the inside part of the plate, but not for long.
It was a high towering thing, which again, in the face of the wind, the capricious wind apparently was not blowing in from right in this particular instance, and it was out with plenty to spare. And so Darryl Strawberry takes one swing and does a lot to get the booze off his back, because he was hooted around here quite a bit during this past season and didn't like it.
As a matter of fact, he went 0 for the month of August in this ballpark. 0 for 45 in this ballpark in August. And they were coming down pretty hard on him.
Bill Doran, top of the order, will lead it off for Houston. Doran has a home run in the ball game, but that was off Ron Darling. Rick Aguilera is out there now with a chance to win this ball game. Two balls and no strikes to Doran, and right out of the blocks here, having gotten even, Aguilera starts to fall behind the leadoff hitter.
And I do not think that Davey Johnson will stay with Aguilera too long. He is a middle reliever and a starter. And in this situation, it being the 7th inning, I think Johnson will be more inclined to get McDowell or Orozco back up should the first runner or the first batter in Doran get on.
McDowell has sat down. He's no longer throwing in the bullpen. Time for a moment as Mitchell came in to ask for sunglasses now, as the angle of the sun has changed some in left field. It's Bill Doran, Billy Hatcher, and Denny Walling for Houston. And that pitch is up. And it's 3 balls and no strikes to Doran.
Aguilera says, where was that pitch? And Frank Pulley said it was high.
He walks Bill Doran on 4 pitches.
Now batting, center fielder Billy.
Can it be that McDowell is ready already?
Well, he was throwing in the 6th inning, and the pitcher is leading off the bottom of the 7th inning for the Mets. So if Davy Johnson does make a switch for a pitcher in this inning, it'll probably be a double switch. But right now, nobody is up for the Mets.
And Billy Hatcher's at the plate with a pair of singles in today's ball game. Puts it on the ground. Third baseman Knight comes in, doesn't get a handle, throws it away. Ball goes skittering down the right field line. Strawberry retrieves, and Doran, the lead runner, moves all the way to third.
Well, it'll probably be a hit and an error. I'm a little surprised that Ray Knight wasn't more shallow for Billy Hatcher because the bunt was in order. Of course, he is shallow right there. He was ready. He does get to the ball in a hurry, but when he comes up with the ball, he can't find the handle immediately, and then the low throw allows Hatcher to get a base hit, and the error sending Doran to third base.
Denny Walling at the plate, hits it sharply. Second baseman Tuffle goes to Santana, back to first. Safe at first base, so the run scored. And the Astros go back into the lead, 5-4.
Well, why in the world Tim Tuffle looked at home first? That's why this play was close. He appeared to be out at first, but Tuffle looked at home first. And when infielders are in double play situations, you're back to get the double play. He appeared to be out, but that really has nothing to do with it. Tim Tuffle fielding the ball and looking home first made what should have been a routine double play into a fielder's choice.
Davy Johnson came out to protest briefly on the call at first base, but he's gone quickly back to the dugout. And here's Glenn Davis. One out now, and the pitch is low.
He appeared to be out at first base, but it's a routine double play if Tuffle doesn't look home first. And that is one reason that an umpire won't give you a close call like that if you don't execute properly.
Pitch is a call strike to Davis, make it 1-1. Hatcher is given a sacrifice, and Doran moving to third on the error by Knight on his throw, and Doran scoring from third on the fielder's choice by Walling as the Mets tried to turn the double play and just missed at first. Again, the look at first base, and again it appears the man is out. But he was called safe by the first base umpire, Dutch Renner. One and two to Davis, well outside. Well, that opening walk cashed in by Houston. Strike ball. And Davis is gone. Boy, they've handled him pretty well. He did get that little bunker up the middle, but otherwise they've handled him well today. 2 down. Kevin Bass struck out looking, walked, fly ball to right.
The Astros scored their run here in the 7th inning, much like the Mets set up their 3 in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, but it's that It's that inning when you've come back.
That's right.
To get your 4. That next inning is so important.
It really is. You want to reverse that momentum as soon as you can, and the Astros have done that.
2-1. Up the alley. Run down by Mookie Wilson. But the Astros battle back in the middle of the 7th. They lead 5-4. Back after this commercial message and a word from your local station.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat.
When it's time for a change, put yourself in today's Chevy Cavalier and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
President Reagan and the Soviet leader, Mr. Gorbachev, are both in Iceland. ABC News will keep you up to date as the talks progress.
As coverage continues this weekend, stay with ABC News.
Dave Ward talks about Houston.
I've been a part of our Houston area all my life, and whether it's with Crime Stoppers or with local charities, the Share Your Christmas program, or in speaking engagements, I feel good when I'm involved, when I'm able to help. And it's a chance to meet a lot of real nice folks. You know, we've got a great community here, and if you're part of something great, you've just got to give something back to it.
Dave Ward, part of the 13 Eyewitness News team. We care about people.
Where are the Thundercats? We don't know, Master. Who's the cauldron will tell us?
You will find the Thundercats at Burger King. For a limited time only, introducing Thundercats meal packs for your kids with a Snarf straw holder, a Thundercats bank, and 2 other Thundercats treasures, a different one each week.
We must get them!
Sorry, Reptile. Our powers work for good, not evil. Thundercats meal packs for your kids, now only at Burger King.
The playoffs between the Astros and the Mets has sparked a war of words between New Yorkers and Houstonians. Listen in on Eyewitness Houston, Saturday night at 6:30 here on 13.
It's the Sunday night movie at 10:30 here on Channel 13.
This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
We come back to Shea Stadium with the Houston Astros leading the New York Mets 5-4. And in the pitcher spot now, a pinch hitter, Lynn Dykstra, 3 for 8 in the first 2 games of the series. Dykstra as a pinch hitter, 4 for 14 on the year. Bob Knepper stays out on the mound for Houston. But the Houston pen is busy. Calhoun and Kerfeld throwing. And the pitch by Knepper to Dykstra is inside. Orozco is up in the New York pen now. And it's a strike to Dykstra to make it 1-1. Mookie Wilson on deck, and then Kevin Mitchell. Right side.
Well, with Mike Scott starting tomorrow, the one thing that the Astros can do now is pitch Jim DeShays today. That's why it's important for Hal Lanier not to have to wait till after the game to make the decision. DeShays is available.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Dykstra. Orozco came in relief of Gooden in the first game and pitched very well. He just tied a knot in the Astros in the opening game. And that pitch is high and inside. So Lenny has hung in and worked to a full count.
And now Bob Knepper has to throw Dykstra a fastball. It's always nicer as a hitter when you know what's coming. And now it's a fastball. And see by that look on Dykstra and Lanier's face.
And it's fouled away. Is that a drum? 3-2 count on Lenny Dykstra. Into that tight crouch. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. The double play that got away.
We were talking about, watch the hesitation by Tim Tuffle. The ball hit sharply by Denny Walling. Now watch Tuffle look at home. He's in double play depth. There's really nothing to look home for. Now watch. He wants to go home, and that delay cost the double play. The Astros didn't score any more runs, so it's a moot point, I suppose. But important that when you're in a double play depth, you've got to think about the double play and not the runner at home.
Mookie Wilson on the second pitch hits it sharply foul to the right side, and your count is 1-1 on Mookie. Kevin Mitchell, I'm sorry. That is Mookie Wilson. Kevin Mitchell. I was looking out into the bullpen as Roscoe warms up, and as Houston has now 2 men in their pen. If he should decide, that is Hal Lanier, as Wilson hits a high pop on the right side for Davis. And he makes the catch just in foul ground for the second out. It's not beyond the pale that for a particular batter he could bring Calhoun for the one man.
A guy like Keith Hernandez, and that's probably why Calhoun is up right now. Of course, you got a left-handed pitcher out there. I guess Calhoun probably would be relegated after Kerfeld to get one man maybe in the 9th inning or something like that.
Mitchell, right-handed batter at the plate now. Kevin with a single and has scored a run. There's Jeff. And Mitchell fouls it away. The one thing about the Houston bullpen that has been pointed out time and time again is the absence of the left-hander, whereas Orozco fills that spot for the Mets with great effectiveness. And Jesse now has stopped throwing out of the New York pen. Mitchell swinging at a high fastball on the outside part of the plate, doesn't get it. He's behind now, 0-2. Kerfeld and Calhoun have both slowed down to become spectators now, so apparently they are ready. And apparently Orozco is ready. A little bleeder to the right side. Doran can't get it. Bass has no chance at it, and Mitchell is aboard. A handle hit looped over the second baseman's head. And Keith Hernandez coming to the plate. Get the feeling that somebody that Hal Lanier is going to pop out of that dugout, but he has not. Hernandez on the day has bounced out to the first baseman and singled twice and scored one of the 4 New York runs. And Knepper gets a strike. If Hernandez does get aboard here, and Carter coming up, I'll be surprised if we don't see Kerfeld.
You bet your house on it.
Kevin Mitchell, base runner with 2 out. Dykstra led off, struck out. Mookie Wilson fouled out. And there's Big Charlie. Pitch is high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
One of the very difficult things about Keith Hernandez, he is so tough to defense against. You got to play him straight away. He uses all parts of the field in which to hit. Line to line hitter with good power to all fields.
That pitch is inside. It's 2-1. You can see there's one left-hander, and of course you got to count DeShays in there too, but he has not been active. Calhoun is listed as the only, quote, reliever. Hit to center field. Hatcher drifts back, makes the catch, and Nepper gets out of the inning, getting a very dangerous man on a fly ball to center. And after 7, Astros 5-4.
Compare camcorders, and you'll see why Zenith's lightweight, autofocus, compact VHS wins. Single-handedly. Zenith. Quality.
Charlie, give me a light. Charlie, a Bud Light. If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Hey, thanks.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Can I have a light? Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Today, this radio can play 31 hours longer than a year ago.
That's because it's powered by the supercharged Energizer. 31 more hours of music.
Today, no battery in the world outlasts the supercharged Energizer.
Announcing the Valvoline 4-Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of America's greatest parades. To enter, watch the next commercial and remember what the driver of the smoking car says. Then go to a participating store for details.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil. Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4-Guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
Zenith's clean, cube-shaped styling gives you so much screen from side to side and corner to corner, it makes watching television a whole new ballgame. Zenith. Quality.
The skyline of Manhattan. The attention of the big city, a great portion of it anyway, focused right out here on Shea Stadium. And tonight, Game 4 of the American League Championship Series as Roger Clemens will go for the Red Sox and Don Sutton for the California Angels. Angels winning last night to go on top 2-1. Now we've got some changes for the New York Mets as Jesse Orozco comes in relief. Ron Darling started. Aguilera succeeded him in the 6th. Orozco's on in the 8th. Lenny Dykstra goes into center field, and Mookie Wilson moves over to left field, and Kevin Mitchell leaves the lineup.
Jesse 8-6 on the year. He pitched a perfect inning, as Keith said earlier, at the Astrodome, striking out 1. And he has a 2.33 ERA with 21 saves, but the ERA for a short reliever is sometimes much misunderstood, because a lot of times if you give up runs with runners on base, it's somebody else's.
Yeah.
There ought to be really a different department for short relievers' ERAs.
Orozco facing left-hander Jose Cruz. And he hits the outside corner. He pitched an inning in the opening game in relief of Dwight Gooden and was totally effective. Pitch is inside. Alan Ashby, the Houston catcher, will switch over and hit right-handed. And we may well see Dickie Thon come up for Craig Reynolds. You could see that.
For two reasons. For defense, as he went in the other night, and for offense.
Roscoe now goes to 2 balls and a strike to Cruz. 5-4. Houston leads, batting in the top of the 8th inning. Mets came up with 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Rather weak swing by Jose, a sweep at it, if you will. Davey Lopes is the man holding the bat right now, so you could see Lopes as a pinch hitter as well. You might see Thon and Lopes both if somebody gets on. Cruz out on a pitch on the outside corner, called strike 3.
Well, this is just a nasty fastball thrown by Jesse Orozco. Notice how he ducked down there, and that's to get the front side of the left-hander to leave, and then he throws it on the outside corner.
Alan Ashby turns around and hits right-handed. Pins it in for a strike. Davey Lopes is out in the on-deck circle and will hit apparently for Craig Reynolds. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ashby. Maybe he was beating the drum. Just outside. Houston with 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the 7th. Mets with 6 in the bottom of the, with 4 in the bottom of the 6th. And it's a 5-4 Houston lead. To the shortstop, Santana. 2 down. All right, Dickie Thon has come out now and is also standing at the on-deck circle, but it is Davey Lopes who will be hitting for the shortstop, Craig Reynolds. But Dickie Thon will surely go in at the shortstop position for the glove.
This is a very interesting thing right here. I mean, if you pinch hit with Thon, then of course he stays in the ball game, but if he makes an out, the pitcher leads off the 9th inning. By pinch hitting Lopes and then putting Thon into the lineup, Hal Lanier will insert the pitcher in the 8-hole to make him the 9th hitter in the 9th inning. Very interesting and shrewd move by Hal Lanier.
Davey Lopes, of course, so long with the Dodgers at second base, then Oakland, then Chicago, and now to Houston. Ray Knight gets a good bounce at third and throws him out. So Orozco comes in and gets Houston in order. And it's 5-4 in the middle of the 8th inning.
Please report to the first base. Hello. You may notice that Ed and I have brand new ties. This is to prove that even at our age, it is not impossible to change your habits. For example, instead of ordering the same thing every time at your favorite restaurant or tavern, why not ask for a Bartles & James premium wine cooler instead? Its fresh fruit juice and premium white wine make it the perfect refreshment for any occasion. So change a habit today. Get some new shoes, go to work an hour later, and ask for Bartles & James. Thank you for your support.
Can you believe the way some fast food places make chicken? It starts out frozen and can end up like rubber. At Kentucky Fried Chicken, the original recipe and extra crispy chicken start out fresh, and they're cooked fresh all day long, so every piece is tender and delicious.
Finger-licking good. At Kentucky Fried Chicken, all we do is chicken, so we do it right. Anyone else's chicken may leave you cold. Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Game 3.
2003 American League Championship Series. Tempers flared as the long balls flew. Oil can board control slipped away while Angel bats said hello to the bleachers. California leads Boston 2-1. Game 4 tonight.
For generations, First City Banks have been building a proud tradition. We're there to help you realize your dream. No one brings more banking convenience into your neighborhood. We're helping to spread higher education across the state. We even help you reach for the stars. So keep moving ahead, Texas, and count on First City to help you keep growing through all the years to come.
Big right-hander. In relief now, Bob Nepper in the bottom of the 8th inning. Gary Carter comes out to face Kerfeld. Charlie was in 61 ball games as a reliever this season with a record of 11-2, and you saw there made a brief appearance in the championship series. He brings heat to the mound.
In all forms, he is a zany character, I'll tell you. Throws awfully hard.
Strike one to Carter. Bounce. Late. Darryl Strawberry is on deck, and then Ray Knight.
Charlie Kerfeld made his major league debut as a starter in this ballpark in the middle of June of last year.
Is outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. Houston's closer or door slammer, or call him what you want, Dave Smith, is now up in the bullpen. Back to the mound. Behind the back grab by Kerfeld, and he throws out Carter.
Well, you gotta love it. That's all there is to it. I don't either, and neither does he. But watch him.
It's part of the act.
I'm telling you, he catches it. Now watch what he does to Carter. Watch. He's gonna point to him, just for a little added emphasis. A little point there, Gary. I'm telling you, I don't believe it. I mean, if he doesn't catch that ball, conceivably that ball could go into center field for a base hit.
Either that or it's a broken tailbone. Darryl Strawberry is at the plate. And the first pitch bounces to him. 1 out. Oh, Charlie, he'll make his mark before he's done.
The Jetsons have arrived.
Pitch is high for ball 2. It was Strawberry with that big 3-run home run that got the Mets even in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's a strike. Strike 2. Foul ball, right side. Bill Robinson flags it down. First base coach. Kerfeld does not give you much time to take a breath. He
doesn't.
At you.
Let me have the ball. I want to throw it.
Three and 2 on Strawberry. Struck him out.
Tell you, Keith, I never liked to hit against pitchers where I couldn't see their eyes. It reminds me of Bob Field back in that old Forbes Field. As you see, this is some gas right here. High fastball. And Strawberry swings and misses. Remember, Bob Field used to go behind the mound and clean his glasses and then throw about 110 miles an hour. I'm telling you.
Ray Knight fouls it off. And it just missed Tim McCarver.
breaking ball over yet. That slider that he throws. How can Yogi and Hal Lanier be that calm at this stage of the ball game?
Maybe they tied themselves down or something. Ball is hit in the air to right. Kevin Bass has some room on it. And makes the catch for the third out. So Kerfeld does his thing. And the Mets go down in order. As we move on to the top of the ninth inning, the Astros leading 5-4.
Listen to the heartbeat. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
If you have a dream, put yourself in today's Chevrolet Corvette and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Great sale if you know karate. They grab the good stuff. I get thumped, bumped, pushed aside, and yelled at. I've got a headache this big, and it's screaming for Excedrin.
Excedrin, the headache medicine. Regular strength pain relievers give you only this much medicine, but Excedrin gives you this much more. Nothing proven stronger without a prescription.
I had a headache this big, but I took Excedrin, and it's gone.
Excedrin from Bristol Myers. Excedrin, the headache medicine.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Oh, the chili.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light. No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Jim Lampley in our ABC studio in New York, and that is no misprint on the graphic over my shoulder. Cincinnati, which shocked the college football world by beating Penn State 3 years ago, is trying to repeat the feat against a much better Penn State team, leading 17-14 in the fourth quarter. Penn State having just gotten the ball for what may be its last or next to last possession in the game. Keith?
Jim, thanks very much. And that will send a tremor through the ranks of the polls, won't it? Whew. Of course, it isn't over. All right. Dickie Thon, the shortstop, will come up now and hit. Hitting in the number 9 position. Wally Backman is now playing second base defensively for the New York Mets. And Jesse Orozco comes with a breaking pitch on the outside. Not much of a break. Is that a hard slider?
Hard slider and fastball, a tailing fastball, as you saw Wally Backman, who's inserted.
To the shortstop, Santana. Thon runs pretty well, but Raphael gets him. So Thon hitting in the 9th position. We go back to the top of the order now for Bill Doran and Billy Hatcher. A 5-4 ball game in the top of the 9th inning.
That's another small managerial move, but a good one. Since Tuffle is leading off the bottom of the 9th inning, why not insert Backman since the left-hander's already out of the game? Good move by Davy Johnson. Pick up a little defense in the top of the 9th also, if needed.
Dave Smith is no longer active in the Houston bullpen. Two balls and no strikes. To Doran. Jesse reached back for a little extra on that fastball and brings it in to make it 2-1. Sharply hit to center field. Base hit for Doran. He has homered, walked, and now singled.
Billy Hatcher.
Scheduled to come up for New York, bottom third of the order. Tuffle is already out of the ball game. Santana's spot and then the pitcher's spot. And here are the people on the Mets bench available to manager Davy Johnson. 24-man roster. Billy Hatcher with Bill Doran on first base.
I'll tell you, Keith, it amazes me, speaking of that 24-man roster, it amazes me that the Major League club owners have maintained that 24-man roster throughout the 1986 season. I thought it'd go back to 25 after about a month, and that seemed to be the general feeling of most everyone.
Ball one to Hatcher. Walling on deck. Roger McDowell is back up in the New York bullpen. Got to have somebody ready in case somebody can manifest some productivity in the bottom of the ninth inning and produce at least a tie.
Yeah, McDowell is up for Glenn Davis right now. Walling is on deck, but Davis in the hole. Should he hit this inning, don't be surprised if McDowell's in there.
2 balls and no strikes to Hatcher. On the corner. 2-1. Remember, the American League Championship Series goes tonight, 8 Eastern time here on ABC. That's game 4 of the American League Series between the Red Sox and the Angels.
And Roger Clemens coming back with only 3 days rest. Mike Scott tomorrow night coming back under the same circumstances.
Hatcher swings and misses, and they've got Doran hung up. Got him caught, and Hernandez tags him out. So Hatcher swinging and missing, and Doran got caught between first and second.
Right, it's a hit and run, and it's the responsibility of the hitter to put the ball in play. The ball was in the dirt, and Doran's an easy out. He gives Keith Hernandez a little courtesy shove after Hernandez tags him out. Little shoulder there. That will be logged by Hernandez because Bill Doran, the second baseman, covers second on a lot of double play attempts.
2 down, and Hatcher now with a 2-2 count. And Orozco changes speed, misses outside to go full count. Hatcher walks. Well, in the second ball game in Houston, you had Bass run into an out, and you had Hatcher get caught in a fly ball deep from the outfield.
Well, of course, you know, on that double play ball, or beg your pardon, on the hit and run play, all a manager can do is try to get a hitter a good pitch to swing at. And Hal Lanier tried to do that, but unfortunately the ball was in the dirt, and Hatcher had to go for it, and Doran was a dead duck.
Eddie Walling takes ball 1 from Orozco. Two out. Top of the ninth inning. Houston leading 5-4. Check swing foul. Down the third base side. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Al Lanier talking to his catcher. As you saw in that instance many times, Al Lanier in this instance, however, talking to the coach, who in turn is talking to the hitter. Saw the other night as Walling swings and misses. Constant communication between Ashby and Lanier. And they were in a defensive posture.
I would be very, excuse me, Keith, I would be very surprised also that Lanier wasn't flashing a steal sign to Billy Hatcher at first base. It's a 1-2 count. 2 outs. Left-handed hitter up there. Want to try to steal another run.
Hatcher goes. Pitch is swung on and fouled away, coming back out of play. So one would surmise that was the point of the sign language.
Hatcher's looking at Minke at third base. A lot of coaches want you to look at them, as you see Dennis Minke, the third base coach of the Astros, before you get back to first base, because when you get back to first base, everybody's looking at the third base coach.
Double play.
A pitch in the dirt denying Hatcher contact on the ball, resulting in Doran getting caught in a rundown. Right now looms as a big play in the top of the 9th inning. That's fouled away, and that time Hatcher made no move toward second. But again, as he walks back, he looks. McDowell is now warm and ready in the New York pen, and he's stopped throwing, standing watching.
Hatcher's running right now. Well, not now, but once Orozco goes home, a lot of third base coaches give signs, and they try to decoy a catcher. They'll look off into the outfield as though they've done nothing down there. A lot of times that's kind of a dead giveaway that they have done something.
Hernandez motioning to Orozco. You can see that movement. He's in his hold position. You watch his left hand now, and he will indicate to the pitcher when he wants him to come. That time he wanted him to come. Hatcher goes. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Side retired. So it's 5-4 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Back after this commercial message and a word from your local station.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
The #1 team in the nation, the Miami Hurricanes, take on West Virginia. Or 6th-ranked Oklahoma tackles Texas. Coverage begins with college football today. Next.
The playoffs between the Astros and the Mets has sparked a war of words between New Yorkers and Houstonians. Listen in on Eyewitness Houston, Saturday night at 6:30 here on 13.
Sunday morning at 9. Life is always a gamble for the Mavericks.
Ben and I are just waiting for tomorrow's train.
I got some power here, boy. Just doesn't seem right, does it?
You and your brother are trying to take over my game.
I learned a lot just by staying around you.
I picked up a few pointers myself.
James Garner and Jack Kelly introduce the new Maverick Sunday morning at 9 here on 13.
Roland Govan talks about weather.
You know, Gulf Coast weather is unique. I've tracked it for years in Corpus, Beaumont, now Houston and Galveston. Even after interpreting all the scientific data, it's the Gulf Coast experience that gives one the extra sense for accurate forecasting. That same sense is shared by my colleagues Ed Brandon and Doug Brown. It's one of the reasons most people rely on Eyewitness weather.
Roland Govan, part of the 13 Eyewitness News team. We care about people.
Texas and Oklahoma, Saturday afternoon at 2 here on 13.
Coming through in the clutch with some of its lesser-known players on the field, Penn State apparently has averted disaster, a David Clark touchdown run, a safety on a blocked punt, and it's now 23-17, Penn State late. Keith?
All right, Jim, thanks very much. And here are your hitters now for New York in the bottom of the 9th inning. All three left-handed hitters, and pitching now for Houston, the closer, Dave Smith. And the first pitch is ball one. Never started Kerfield an inning. Now it's Dave Smith, the big man in the bullpen for the Astros.
33 saves on the year. That's why he's in there now.
1-1. Houston trying to protect the 5-4 lead and go ahead in the series 2-1. Ball is punted by Backman. Roll toward the first baseman, and Backman out to the extreme portion of the baseline, and now Hal Lanier is going to scream about it as to whether or not he left.
They're going to say that he went out of the baselines to avoid the tag. That's Lanier's argument right now. Now watch Wally Backman. Now obviously you can do this on a single to the outfield, but it's questionable as to whether you can do it to avoid a tag. You must be able to touch the bag. Now did Backman circle and come back to touch the bag, or when he made the circle, was he in a position to touch the bag? It was Dutch Renner's position that he was always in a position to touch the bag, and now they're going to get some help. Frank Pulley.
Frank Pulley, the plate umpire. It was Dutch Renner's call, and he called him safe.
I think Lanier is asking Pulley to help Rennert out because Rennert was preoccupied with the tag of first base, and maybe Pulley may have had a better view of whether Backman went out of the baselines to avoid the tag or not.
Well, he clearly left the baseline.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that on a single. You see guys sweep around in the whole bit. But if you're doing it to avoid a tag, then it's another thing. See, that's why those two lines are right there. Now, he did go outside the line there, but he was able to come back and touch first base. And that's what the umpires have concluded.
And so it is a bunt single for the leadoff man, Wally Backman, and here is Heap. Matty Heap, 9 pinch hits in 30 at-bats this season. Former Astro. And Backman with good foot speed on first base, representing the tying run. Heap against Smith, though, has not been productive this year. But it's a different season right now, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Butt is fouled away. Denny Walling got a late start at third, as it seemed obvious that Heap would try to put it down in his way.
Well, this is a bit strange because Danny Heap has no sacrifices on the year. The only thing that I would imagine is running through Davy Johnson's mind, if he does get 2 strikes on him, then Heap's a better hitter than Santana.
Backman off first, representing the tying run. 5-4 ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1 strike to Heap, and that pitch is inside, and it gets off the glove of Alan Ashby and rolls to the backstop. And Backman goes to second, and now it's advantage Johnson.
That fastball just clearly gets away from Ashby. It should be a pass ball. A lot of times when the hitter puts the bat up in front of the catcher's face, he loses the sight of the ball. It blocks his vision. It is a pass ball on Alan Ashby. Now I wonder if Heap will be bunting.
1-1 count on him. Walling stays on the edge of the grass at third. And the pitch is eye high. 2 balls and a strike. Infield has crept in. All three. All Heath has to do is get the ball to the right side.
Yeah, and things change. You know, no pitch is ever the same. You got a 3-1 count now. You want a pitch you can hammer. That was Danny Heath's initial intent in swinging. Just get Backman to third base. But now he's ahead in the count. Now he wants to hammer. He wants to drive him in, not over.
Pops it up. Out of play, coming back into the crowd. And it's 3-2.
That Dave Smith in that fork ball, he has been throwing that pitch. That's his bread and butter pitch. And he got it over on the 3-1 count. And if you're Danny Heath, you ought to look for it again, because that's what you'll get.
To Heath. Fly ball into medium depth center field. Backman comes halfway down and now goes back to second as Hatcher makes the catch, 1 out. So now Dave Smith will pitch to Lenny Dykstra.
Gene Mock once told me that you can score a lot of runs with the types of outs you make. That was not a good type of out to make because Backman's still at second base. No runner advanced.
With Dykstra up, Mookie Wilson now to the on-deck circle and 1 out. 5-4. Houston lead.
I'd say no types of outs are nice to make, but if you do make them, you want to at least advance the runner, especially in this situation.
Dykstra fouls it back. Strike 1. Walling on the grass at third. Davis just off the grass at first. Everybody's on the dirt.
Or the edge of their seats.
Hit to right. Bass going back. Going back. It's gone. The Astros in the bottom of the 9th inning, 6-5, and take a 2-game-1 lead in the National League Championship Series. Dave Smith, the ace of the bullpen for Houston, throws a fork ball, and Lenny Dykstra hit it out as the Mets win 6-5.
Panasonic, the future of office automation. Advanced equipment with an extraordinary concept. The easier, the better. Panasonic offers solutions to your special computer problems. high-speed microprocessors, high-resolution monitors, and high-performance printers, which make them a very easy choice. Panasonic computers and computer peripherals, like our typewriters and copiers, the easier the better. Panasonic Office Automation.
You know, Ace is the place for some serious savings, like the October Best Buys in the Ace Monthly Circular, the Super Arc Lawn Rakes, just $1.49, the Ames Kangaroo Lawn and Leaf Bag Cart, just $8.99. But Ace is also the place for savings on serious things, like the Code 1 smoke alarm with safety light, only $4.88 after a $5 rebate, and you can charge it. At that price, you can't afford not to protect your home and family.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man.
There is trouble. 99.9% of my business is done over the phone.
Effective immediately.
It's got to be cost-effective, and it's got to be clear.
U.S. Sprint is the lowest-priced major long-distance company in America.
That's what I need.
Lower than AT&T, lower than MCI.
Well, we're talking about big bucks.
The best overall savings.
Super.
And if you become a Sprint Charter customer during our biggest sale ever, you could save even more. So call now and find out more about U.S. Sprint.
Buy it.
Dancing in the streets, you know. You're looking at Lenny Dykstra, who just nailed a fork ball that didn't fork for a 2-run home run and a 6-5 Mets win. Congratulations, Lenny.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Just a great effort on the ball club. We came back and battled back. Same thing we've been doing all year.
That looked like a fork ball. Am I calling it right?
I think it was a changeup, maybe a fork ball.
Yeah.
And Lenny, it didn't appear that, you know, I know this sounds strange, but did you hit it on the meat of the bat?
Yeah, I hit it good, Timmy. I'll tell you what, I faced him in this situation earlier in the year at Shea Stadium. Last time I faced him, same situation, man on second base. Had a fastball, I hit it off the wall for a double to tie the ball game. Today, I thought he might come back something off speed, and he did. Unfortunately, I was able to get the good part of the bat on the ball and hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, the folks in Garden Grove, California, out dancing in the street, I'll tell you, they'll be ready to pat you on the back when you come home, and I think Terry just about jumped out of the stands when you hit that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Congratulations again.
Having a lot of trouble hearing you out here.
I understand. Go back to the clubhouse where it's safer.
All right.
Lenny Dykstra, who won it for the Mets, 6-5.